Greetings, everybody. It's the Mappening. I'm live. It's here. At long last. Only 4 minutes late this time. That's impressive, my friends. That's impressive right there. That never happens. Okay. Today, in case you didn't know, it is going to be an isometric mapping day. And I am going to be working in Photoshop here. Hand-drawn in Photoshop. No fancy tricks. Just trying to simulate what a pen does, basically. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I don't really have much of a plan. I know that might be shocking and a little bit disturbing even, but I think it's exciting. So let's get going. I want to thank everyone for tuning in here. Looks like the chat is full. So great. Want to thank the patrons, first of all. Patrons get access to weekly live map drawing streams with me, rather than these, like once a month, once every 2 months, once every, take a break for 10 months. So I'll be streaming for my patrons tomorrow night. Patrons, don't forget that, at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Monday. So if you're interested in getting access to those, check it out at patreon.com/WASD20. Oh, that's WASD20. Excuse me. So... why don't we go ahead and do some shout outs? Where are you from, people? Where are you watching from? So while you're doing that, a little kind of recap of where we've been. You might remember 2 months ago on the Mappening, I restarted the Mappening because the world needs more live streams when we're all stuck indoors and all this social distancing stuff. So, we need connections. And this is one way. I'm just doing my small part here, and many of you are doing awesome things too. So on the first Mappening, back in a long time, we worked on this map. You guys might remember that. I probably finished it up off stream. I don't think I finished it on the stream, but that was a fun one. Again, kind of started with no plan and just kind of went nuts drawing some things. Pretty things. Worlds came alive before our eyes. And then last time on the Mappening, you guys might remember I worked on this one, and I don't think I had it finished, so I just wanted to show you guys the finished product, and let me get my face out of the way here. So yeah, the finished product here, Obelisk. I believe that was a patron suggestion, actually, the name. And, I ended up kind of going with a bit of a Russian feel on some of the names. Russian-inspired. I tried not to, grab any words that I knew were directly Russian, but yeah, some kind of Eastern European feel, I guess, on some of them. And that was a lot of fun, so mostly finished this up on the patron stream. And in case you don't know, this was my contest map. So check it out over on the Discord server. The contest is over, but voting is still happening for the next, 12 hours, about less, 8 hours or so. 10 hours. All right. Yeah, 10 hours is right. All right. So, go check that out over on the Discord server. There's a link somewhere in the video description here. Just hit show more and you'll see Discord or something like that down there somewhere. All right. And you vote simply by leaving a little compass emoji on the one of your choice. There are 4 options. We had 3. There were 3 finalists in our contest, but this one there was a tie for 3rd place. So we're just go with it. There's 4. So yeah, go check it out. There's some really great work over there. And you can, of course, check out all the entries. There was, 20 or 30 or something like that. Really good maps, really hard choices. Honestly, as we judges felt like this is the hardest one yet in terms of the number of maps and in terms of choosing. So yeah, man, we got people from all over the place here. Let's see. Ontario, Canada, what? England. Michael, hello, Michael. Welcome. Thanks for being here, man. I imagine you'll have to go soon because you usually have D&D games around this time, and so I take no offense. I'm sorry I tend to stream during your D&D nights. Sweden, Florida, Germany, Azerbaijan, man, cool. Republic of Srpska, Netherlands, my people. Yeah, West Michigan, woo, yes, those are really my people now. Winfield, Kansas, I'm sorry, I'm not reading them all. South Australia, UK, Germany, Oklahoma City, Fresno, California, Austria, Washington. Wow. Brazil, place I would like to go very much. Costa Rica, Canada, Netherlands, Oklahoma. I'm sorry I'm missing tons of them, but I just can't name them all, my friends. But welcome wherever you are in this world. Maps bringing us together. Know what I mean? We are one people being drawn together into this hobby we love. So, oh, Michael, no D&D tonight. Sweet, you get to hang around. I'm so happy about that. Okay. Hey, we're gonna jump right in. So, yeah, let's see here. Why you have got the thick trim on only some parts of the map? Oh, okay, so I'm thinking you probably mean the cliffs. So there were just certain parts where I decided there's going to be some cliffs here. So that's that, but yeah. Okay, we're going to keep going here. So let's get into today's map, which is an isometric map. Blah, blah. So I've got some isometric graph paper. Now, you can obviously follow along on your own paper if you happen to have some isometric graph paper like this. But if you don't, this very paper right here is available over on the over on my website, wasd20.net. And that is going to be about there's going to be landscape or portrait there. So you can go download one of them if you would like to. There's a link to that down in the video description as well. I think it's somewhere like on the 4th line or something like that. So if you don't have any, you don't need to have any. And of course, you can always kind of freehand it too. It does work, although these guidelines I found are very helpful. I think I picked up my pad of isometric graph paper for about $10, maybe $8, $6, I don't know, on Amazon. But go to your local office supply store as well. Get your curbside delivery going or whatever you do. All right. Some water. So I did actually doodle some things. So I kind of lied when I said I don't have any plan. I'm sorry. The first of many lies I will tell you today. This is just, I had this purple teacher pen that I had, and I was doodling some things earlier this morning as I was sitting out on my back patio, enjoying the sun a little bit. So, yeah, we're going to get going here. I imagine the stream today will be about an hour and a half or so, but we'll see. Okay. Whew. Looks like I've got this beautiful shade of red right now in my pen. I don't know if I want that. All right. Let me arrange some things here. There we go. Okay. And what color? I hear my dog howling upstairs, as she is wont to do. My goodness. Someone take care of her. Okay. So we could do this lovely blue because that's kind of, you know, like you get your blue drawing pencils and stuff like that, and it can look kind of cool. So we're just going to do that. We're going to go with blue. That's sometimes what I do for my under. Whoa. Ghost pen, hello? I didn't draw you. Did you think my hand was the pen? All right, so this is a way we can kind of sketch things out here. And what I think we're going to do is this is going to be more of a natural cave map. And here's the story for the map. I heard someone mention it earlier. Story. Absolutely such a great thing to go along with a map, right? So I am imagining a scenario that I have actually run a game with where there were some bards who had a high place. And these were like, in my world, these bards are like bard priests. They're kind of like the clerics, the holy order. They are the advisors to the king often. And I got that idea totally ripped off from the Albion trilogy by Stephen Lawhead. Some of my favorite books. And so the idea for this absolutely comes from that. And, but they have this kind of high place up in the mountains. It's a bit secretive. And they have at various times been persecuted and like expelled because maybe whoever's king or queen at the time got upset with them. And so this is where they go when that happens. And it is also kind of a place of ancient wisdom. Don't you love it? Don't you love it? Here's something I discovered on the Patreon stream last week. that I kind of like. So in Photoshop, I can do this thing where I go like, I can click there and I can go shift, and I can go shift, okay? And it can do those lines for me, but that's no fun. So if I can find my ruler, I actually realized I can put my ruler right on my Cintiq, and it kind of works. But I probably can't find my ruler, so I did find it. All right, here we go. So just put this right here, and I can just kind of, gives me a bit more control, even if it's less precise. Wow. But it's just not working. Photoshop is being very stuttery, actually, is what's happening. I bet it would help if I closed the contest map from April. Yes, I would like to save my changes. No, actually, I didn't. Well, yeah, I probably did make some changes. Let's save them just in case. All right. Come on. Is it going to close? It's saving and it says 0%. Well, while that's doing its thing, we'll see if Photoshop will work for us. All right. So what I did here, so when you're drawing stairs, and in my final version, I'm going to make this much more of a rough staircase. But what I do is I just place points. So here is the base of my staircase, right down there. I'll zoom in case that's a little bit hard to see on your screen. But that's the base of my staircase, okay? And then I also, I decide, what do I want my run to be? Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll go 1, 2, 3 up. If you're going 7 out, run, and then you're rising 7, that's going to be a really steep staircase. You could do it, but usually you want to make the run more than the rise, okay? So in other words, less than a 45-degree angle. So I don't know what actual staircases are. Some of you are smarter than me out there and probably know. I see what's happening. My son has been using this for his mathematics. I actually did hook my son up with some math time on here so his teacher could see what he was doing on Zoom. All right, so I'm not going to use the ruler because this is going to be a rough, but I wanted to show you, you can use a ruler if you have a drawing tablet. It works. All right, so this is going to be the first part of our dungeon here. It's going to be a staircase up, all right? And it might be kind of a rough hewn staircase in the stone, but that's where we're starting. And then we're going to have a room. And so for the rooms, if you're doing square rooms, you simply have to go like this. You put some points on the corners like that. That's 4 there. We'll go 4 here. And you can kind of eyeball a little bit, but sure. So then I just put these points on the corners there and good to go. All right. That one didn't take. There we go. All right. And you can kind of connect them and all that stuff, right? But what I'm going to be doing is making it much more rough, cave-like. So here we go. Just going to kind of go in like this and go in like this. And for now, we're just going to do these kind of rough sketches and get some shapes on here. So, and then we'll do sort of a winding path this way. And perhaps it will actually go up here as well. Okay. And then, so this is going to be, I'll just make reminders to myself in this form that these are elevation changes. This right here, you could say that looks like an elevation change, Nate, but no, that's just the way the path is winding. And sometimes that can be a little bit tricky to tell on a dungeon map. Okay. So here we go. Going up and make another room like this. And let's zoom out here to make sure I'm not using too much of my paper all at once. And something like that. Okay, and there we go. And I'm still getting a little stuttery here, so I'm going to see if I can close some things. Probably help if I closed some of my 80 browser tabs. I think it's a memory issue sometimes. You know what? I've also got Wonder Draft open, which doesn't help. And yeah, there's that. Hoping to work on some Wonder Draft stuff on the Patreon stream tomorrow night, and hopefully an updated review coming. So that's why that. Let's just start closing some things here. I think I just hit save. Control S. Oh, okay. We'll just call this map. Sure. All right, there we go. All right, and all right. You know, I do have a series on DMing. It's called The Dungeon Master's Journey. I've got one like your first time DMing and stuff like that. So, yep, you can go check that out. Could you make a video game or book? I would like to make a book on drawing maps at some point. I have some notes and the beginnings of that, but, you know, that's a goal of mine. If you would have told me 4 years ago that about, you know, that I would not have had that out yet, I would have told you, no way, I'm going to do that in like 2 years. And, you know, then life happens. So that's something I would have liked to have done already. All right. Anything else I can close here that will help speed things up a bit? Let's just go close Discord. Let's close Spotify. I just need to free up some resources so that this is a little less chuggly buggly. We'll exit Steam. Yep, we don't need that. All right, there we go. Bones Tennyson, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. All right. Now, let's do another staircase up here. So if this is the base of my staircase here, we'll say, here and here. Okay, so this is there. Then we'll make it going, actually, no, we're just going to eyeball it. Yeah, sure. Okay, so here's a rough hewn room right here, and I'm going to make a staircase going up to it. So how do we show that it's at a different level? Well, I'll show you. We just kind of go like this to see, okay, this is where it would go, but it's up here. And so how do we get up there? Well, I'll tell you. We go like this. Okay. And that is kind of the way our staircase will go. And then to show that, I usually kind of go more like this, and then it's still being chuggly. That's okay. All right. And here we go. And so this one is probably going to be the most square room in the place. All right. Now I'm going to try something that I have not done before on one of these maps, and that is doing a staircase down going this way. All right. That's going to be a little trickier, but I think we can do it, guys. I think we can. So let's try it. Okay. So if our staircase starts right here, we'll say. All right, then let's zoom in a bit. There's a room down below, right about here. Okay, then we want to make it going down there. So we just, and, okay. And now the way that we're going to be able to imply that this goes down is by drawing actual stairs there, okay? Otherwise, it could just be a little side path, but if we actually make our stairs and we can see that they're going this direction, then that gives that impression once again, right? Okay, so, yeah. All right. Cool. Get caught up on the chat a little bit here. That stair does not meet code. It is true. There's no railing. Samish, what's up? Patron in the house. Good to see you. Do you find set dressing harder for ISO maps than top-down maps? Like, absolutely. But yes, absolutely, it does make it look cooler too. So yeah, the added perspective makes it look more dynamic, and that adds a whole new element of challenge for me. And here's the thing that I really find with a lot of this, and why and by the way, I did a video on the isometric maps a little over a week ago, so that's linked down in the video description. I know a lot of you are here because you saw that, so you probably already know that. But if you want to make any dungeon dressing, you really need to be careful. Start with pencil, and that's why working in Photoshop is so much easier too. Or you can get like a light table and all that stuff and go old school. But yeah, if you want to make a chest, for example, and you're saying, well, I'm going to put my chest right here. Okay, but if you already did the pen on this right here, we're not going to be able to give it that cool pop out effect, right? So, yep, that is one of the big challenges. And overall, I mean, drawing an isometric map is just a whole new level of artistic ability. So if our chest is there, you can see now it pops out above the edge of our wall. So yeah, Elosk the Man-Eater. That's an old one. That's a throwback, man. He died, man. Elosk died. All right. What do I have to do on Patreon? If you go to patreon.com/WASD20, there'll be options for tier levels and all that stuff. All right. Let's see here. So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying the fact that the Mappening is back for the last several months, a year or more. I've only really been streaming for my patrons, but I missed the whole community gathering. So thank you all for being here and being a part of this. I have missed it, and it's good to get back to the Mappening, right? So Elosk the Man-Eater, in case you don't know, was this orc in my How to Play D&D series that Erdon Seroshent was hunting and killed. There was a bounty on his head. Erdon took the bounty. Erdon was supposed to, like, you know, give reconnaissance on where the orc was, but no, that is not Erdon's way. Erdon's like, I'm gonna take care of this myself. And he did. That is an old series, man. Elosk lies eternal. Dude, the guy ate people, Gabe. Come on. No. Don't give me this. And don't give me this he was misunderstood crap, okay? Okay, he was a little bit misunderstood. I'm having a little fun with this. I'm going a little more crazy than I did in my original plan. I'm doing some multi-tiers here. So what you're going to see eventually is this is going to be like, you know, down like that little ledge area. Because I think on isometric maps, it's a lot of fun to just play around with the levels. That's one of the advantages of isometric maps, is you can more easily see like different levels and stuff like that. So, yeah. You guys are ridiculous. All right, cool. Something like that is going to work, I think. All right, so we've got enough of a plan. Let's get to the actual work now. And what I might do is kind of develop it room by room so that you all can see, you know, the whole phase a little bit. So, yeah, we'll see. Cartoons 80s and 90s, cool, man. I love those Pigma microns. I have to be honest, I haven't tried too many other art pens. So, and no, they're not like a sponsor or anything like that. They've never given me anything for free. I just like their pens. But I honestly, I should probably branch out and try some other ones. So if you guys have recommendations for good art pens, I'd be interested. I did recently find one of these in my, I think I found this in my classroom. It is some kind of Asian script that I can't read. I'm not sure what language. Oh, it says made in Japan. Calligraphy pen made in Japan. So there you go. And those are cool too. I think I found that in my classroom at one point. A student left it, and you know, that's the way it goes. Shh, don't tell. That's why I love being a teacher. Free pens. All right, here we go. We're going to get a new layer now. Well, how about a couple new layers, Nate? What happened? Well, whatever. We'll just call this black ink. It ain't ink, Nate. That's Photoshop. All right. And we'll go in here and we'll start. We're going to begin. Faber Castell's liner pens. Yeah, actually my wife had one of those, but by the time I got it, it was like already worn out. So I've never really tried a proper one. Yeah. Fountain pen sounds like an interesting challenge. I actually did buy, I bought like an actual fountain, like a dip pen with a pot of India ink. And I messed with it a tiny bit, but not much. So something maybe someday I'll get back to, but it was cool. Like I can see the draw of that for sure. All right, here we go. I do want to get some Copic markers. I know that's what Devin Rue, the wonderful cartographer, was using for a while. Really like her work, and you know, some just great color and all that she did. All right, so what I'm doing here is we're making a staircase, but it's going to be like a very rough staircase. Okay, and one method would be to actually like make individual slabs like this, where you're kind of going like that, and then you kind of connect them. It's not very good. See, I'm not very good at that, and that's why I don't do it. But, you know, something like that. For me, I kind of just, you know, I kind of just draw some squiggly lines and do my thing. Less exciting, maybe. But here and there we can do something like that. And then this is like some path up the mountainside. And we can even put like a little note down here. You know. Down the mountain. All right. Good. And all right. Yeah, exactly, Samish. They're so expensive, right? Copic markers. That's why I haven't done it yet. Yep. That's why I have not done it. All right, so here's the deal, guys. The temptation for me, and this is one of my struggles with stairs, is to go like this with my stairs. But if we're going to maintain this isometric perspective, you got to think about these lines right here, okay? And that is where our stairs should be. Now, it's a rough-hewn stone kind of half staircase sort of thing, so we have a little more wiggle room for sure. But that's what I'm going to shoot for, is just kind of put some lines on here, all right? And we can go some from the other side too, and switch it up a bit. And this is not really a staircase, but someone tried to, you know, maybe take a chisel to it and level in some better steps than the natural trail offered, right? Okay. So something like that. And here, see, I did it again. But actually, we're going to make this just kind of go off, and it levels out there. Okay. Then we can kind of, you know, connect some of these if we want to. And cool. Very good. We have a request for an Elosk resurrection. You know, let's do this. There's a nefarious cult who feels that Elosk held some secrets. And they are going to try to resurrect him. So thank you for bringing that up. Yep. And the townsfolk now must stop them. Because if he comes back, his vengeance will be fierce against the good folk of Merinth. No, that's too big. Brechtel. There we go. Brechtel is a little smaller. The good folk of Brechtel will know no end to his wrath. His undead wrath. The undead visage of Elosk the Man-Eater haunts me in my sleep. Sorry, am I getting too into it, guys? It's the dungeon master in me coming out to play. Oh, it's been a while since I've DM'd, so I'm feeling it. All right, we're gonna do right here as sort of a protective ward. These are the bard's form of gargoyles, essentially, and they're not very scary, but they are the ancients. So what we're gonna have here is these sort of monolithic figures that, you know, they've got a hood and they've got long beard. Sort of thing, and robes. Okay, yeah. Swooping noises necessary, in case you were wondering. Yes, they are necessary. All right, and one thing I was meaning to check here, actually. Okay. Ooh. If you're watching and you're enjoying this and you are on the social media, I would really love it if you would share the link with your friends. Let them know we're having fun over here. Okay. Oh, there we go. Sorry, my YouTube link is like really out of date, or my YouTube stream thing was showing me that it was still 68 people, and it's been that way. So I want to see how many people are really watching. 147 crazy people. It's amazing. Thank you. Now I see it. All right. All right, so this is going to be one of our kind of monolithic guardians, and then there's going to be another one right here. And again, this is the beauty of Photoshop, is I can erase this and just put in things without ruining the other things. And that's especially, you know, I've kind of gotten pretty good at world maps over time. And I know a lot of you, you know, would probably prefer to see me working on a world map. But, you know, as a cartographer, I want to push myself to new things, and I want to help expand your mind into new things as well, and new adventures. And isometric maps are one of those things. But that's challenging for me. It's been challenging. And that's one of the big ones, is like, man, adding stuff after you've already put in your walls, and just, yeah, it's very tricky with isometric maps. So, you know, pencils are good. All right. And we'll kind of do some sleeve-like things here too, that they actually have arms, sort of. The ancients. And then we'll do another, this is going to be a nice little short one here. What's his story? Why is he so short? I don't know. Didn't turn out that short after all. Let's make him shorter. I just like a little bit of not perfect alignment here. So yeah, who are these guys? Let's build that out. You know, what's the story with the Guardians? Why two tall, one short? What's going on there? I don't know. Except this one looks a little too close. So let's figure this out here. He's too close to his brother. It's the holy trinity of bardship here. I don't know. Okay. That's a little better. Okay. Deselect. All right, so I can, you know, pretty them up later, but that's a good enough kind of rough start to these guardians here. Oh, thank you, Ed Prince. Appreciate it. Very generous of you. Let's see, I'll get a little bit caught up on other things that are going on. Sorry, I'm not keeping up very well on the chat. You know, the music I turned off because It's really hard for me to find like a good balance for it usually, and certain songs are louder than others, and I find when I listen to it in the past, it like sometimes gets too loud and sometimes too quiet, and it's just another thing that I don't mess with. But I should make my, if you want some music, let's do this, y'all. I think I did this last time, and I think it worked pretty well. I'm going to share my mapping playlist with you. It's a Spotify playlist, so if you got Spotify, great. If you don't, you can create a free Spotify account and you'll just get ads, which is not a huge deal. So I will share that with you. Let's do it. For map streams. Yeah, I created this with the intention of using it on all my map streams, and I also got some feedback, especially for like the hearing impaired and stuff. It can be difficult. So to make my streams a little more accessible to all, I think it also helps not to have music and let people choose if they want to. All right, how do I share this? I can make it secret, but how can I share it? Collaborative playlist, make secret, edit details. Down. Oh, share. There we go. Let's just get a link. Copy playlist link and. Or yeah, chill hop radio on YouTube. So someone mentioned lo-fi hip hop. I love it. I love that for just getting work done and getting the groove. But yeah, this one's mostly, I support Alexander Nakarada on Patreon. There's a few creators that I support on Patreon as well. And he is a real good one who has some music that I've used in videos before. And, I just give him $5 a month and then I can use his music without, royalties and stuff like that. So that's really nice. He's a great dude who makes good music. Alexander Nakarada is mostly who you'll see on that playlist. All right, so up here, we've got to do a sort of a staircase here, and it's going to, again, be pretty rough. There's one staircase in here I might make a little more fancied up, and that's this one right here, in terms of being, and that room will be the most square room in this place. I've got a special idea for that room, okay? All right, now, Conan the Barbarian soundtrack is so good. It's so good. Hey, Patrick, I have not saved recently, and you are my hero. Thank you. Let's just call this ISO for Mappening. Hey? Cool. All right. Oh, the settings you choose in the save can override your current settings. Oh, what's happening? Okay. Sure. What's happening here? Save as PDF. No, I don't want to save it as a PDF. Let's just go File, Save, Photoshop PDF. No. ISO for Mappening. Sorry, guys. Technical hiccups galore. No, not galore, just a couple. All right, and let's continue on here. So our next room, we're going to need some kind of like, we're going to need a little ledge here. So what I do when I'm doing a ledge is I try to picture this like hovering above the rest of what I've drawn so far, like that. And then, I have to get rid of a little of this, which is okay. And then we just make this little kind of raised up ledge here. All right. And we do some lines going down like that, and that's all good. And then we can do kind of a bottom to this if you want to, give it a little more definition. And that's a little raised ledge type area. And then maybe we'll just make it like that too. I think that's pretty good. Okay. And then some of this here. And this is just a cave, so I'm just whatever, wiggling my pen around, and it's easy. All right. Patrick is the paperclip from the old Microsoft Word. Patrick is like, yes. Patrick is one of my patrons. He's a moderator here, so thank you, Patrick, for being here and kicking out all the unruly cartographers and and keeping an eye on things, and also just for being a super helpful person always. All right, so that kind of implies a little bit of a rise there. Okay, but what I said was I think I want to finish up one room by Amato Stano. By Gus. Oh, I thought Amato was saying bye guys. Okay, bye Gus. Thanks for joining for a while. I think it would be good to finish up one room a little bit and kind of give you a feel for what does a finished room in my dungeon look like. Okay, so let's do that here. One of the big things I like to do is just get a good layer going, like we did on that ledge, kind of, to give this a feeling of some substance. And so just kind of going like this. And then with our staircase, we're going to do a similar thing here. Kind of like this. And then we go make it over here to kind of, and we'll just rough it up again. If I was doing an actual floor in my dungeon, what I would do, guys, is go like this, and then I usually try to make it a little more That's my very proper noise. Okay. Not perfect, but you get the idea. And if I'm doing tiles, I'll often even try to carry the tiles down a bit here. Just usually giving the impression like that. Okay. So yeah, if I was doing tiles, I'd probably go something like that. And then just a little faint line there. Sometimes like a little one of these. Okay. And that's how I would do that. But on the cave walls, I prefer to give it an appropriately rough look. Okay. And that's totally optional. You can just have your kind of flat planes floating out there. But yeah. All right. I have a really nice, expensive shepherd one back here. Nice. I'm very blurry on your monitor. I'm sorry. I imagine that my internet might be maybe slowing down a bit. Or yours is. One of our internets is slowing down a bit. Okay, so this looks a little too chunky right here. And so let's just, okay, there we go. And this right here as well, I don't know, I think that might be the issue. We might have this going straight down here, like that, or something closer to it, not going out like this. Okay, so that perspective can be a little bit tricky, but let's just go like this, and then we'll go like this. And I think that's pretty good. All right, and then I also like to just add in little lines here, going down like that, and sometimes coming up like this, and getting a little bit almost triangular. And like, instead of just going up like this, doing one of these sort of triangle shapes. I'm not sure if you can see that. I'll zoom in a bit. Yep. Okay. And so yeah, we can just go in here and do some of these. I don't know what you call them. Cliff lines, ledge lines. And again, this is not just a piece of rock floating in space. I know it kind of looks like that, but I just like the way it looks. So just lay off me, okay? Please, please. Leave me alone. All right. And then we will also have a similar sort of, I think that's a little too much. So we'll make it going more like this. Okay, that's good. And then this right here, similarly, jagged bottom. And again, the temptation might be to kind of carry it out here like this, but picture these lines going down. I don't know if that's making any sense, but this goes down here, this goes down here-ish, right? And so keeping that perspective in mind is always helpful. And just trying to then make this right here kind of a rough. It looks a little weird right here with how this goes. So let's maybe just thin it out there. I think it's this turn that might also be a little bit funky. So let's maybe make it a bit more of a, I don't know. Maybe that helps. I'm not sure. And maybe actually this is too narrow here. So let's just keep it kind of a hallway-like thing. I'm probably fussing more than I should be, is what I'm starting to think. But whatever. Okay. Sunday afternoon is not a good time to live stream, especially with COVID quarantine. Everyone, yeah, maybe you're right. But also from a, like, let's get some views perspective. Apparently Sunday afternoon is a good time to stream. The reason I mainly try Sunday afternoons is because it's one of the few days where I can do an afternoon rather than a late night. And I know I've got a lot of European friends and viewers who want to tune in and can't at, like a 9 p.m. stream, which is what I would normally do on a weekday. So, yeah. All right. So, next steps. I feel like we need more stuff in this room. And I don't think we're going to have like, well, we could do, yeah. We're going to do some kind of like, it's not going to be a rug. It's not going to be, but something like carved in the stone, perhaps. Okay. Actually, maybe it's like a, yeah. It's going to be a little bit hard to figure out how to give it that impression, I guess, of being carved in the stone. But let's give it our best here, our best effort. So if it's meeting this corner, then it's going to meet this corner too. So we're going to do this out here. Okay, so something there, and I'm not sure what it's going to be. So maybe I'll have to think about that, but probably like some kind of runes or something. And actually we probably could make this elevated. No, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I'm just thinking there's something, like a summoning circle, but it's a rectangle sort of thing. Ooh, what if this is a pool of water? What if there's some kind of ceremonial pool of water? Could that be cool? I think it could be. And so what if we do just make it a little step up here? Except it gets cold up here, so it's just always this chunk of ice. Poor planning on the part of the bard priests. So yeah, I eventually probably will use this in a D&D game. If you wanted more stuff in the room, put a stuffed teddy bear in there. That's a good idea. I like it. Why am I wearing a hat? I don't know. Actually, I often wear hats, but I usually take them off for videos because I want to make sure people recognize me, because this is the signature look, the egghead. But especially this time of year, I often do wear hats because, bald, sunburn, down here in my basement, sunburn is a real threat, a real risk. All right. I'm going to think on that a little bit more, but we definitely want some rocks because this is a cave. So for our rocks, we'll just kind of put some piles of things here like that. And then just do a little bit of that and that and all that. Okay. And some more rocks over here too. And maybe actually even, no, I was going to say maybe even like a stalagmite. But no, I'm not going to do that here in this room. We will definitely have some stalagmites in some other rooms too. Okay. It's settled in. Good. All right. And then, honestly, sometimes just a little like, and I'm probably zoomed too far in because it's going to, yeah. And then we'll do some more rocks right here. Like that. Like that. Okay. Very good. And yeah, just doing some dots. And I'm still undecided on this thing. The more I'm thinking about it, I actually had kind of the idea that there would be a sort of a font of some kind deeper in. So I'm thinking this is just going to be something that is carved in the ground. But I'm not sure what yet. Probably some runes. Yeah, we need some runes. We need some runes on the edge, and then we'll need something else in the middle. And I think in the middle we might have, what if we had like this, yeah, got a visitor here. You gotta talk to mom, bud. Just a kid. All right. So hourglass symbol. Time. The cave of time. Time passes. We all must die. The sands of time. It's kind of a good like dungeon concept. The sands of time. All right, so some kind of hourglass there carved in, and then we need some runes. And the runes are going to be a little tricky because of this perspective. Hard to maintain that. And so I'm not going to be too concerned with being perfect with it right now. I keep getting that pop up there. I can turn that off. There are ways, but I actually do use it sometimes, so it's... How do I figure out what runes to do? I don't. I just kind of let my pen go, and there's lots of L's in there, I'll tell you that. There are a lot of L's. Let me get caught up in the chat here. Well, thank you, equals death. Appreciate that. Like a pi symbol there. That's right. I did it. And so sometimes I'll put in like real letters and numbers, like that looks like a 2, this looks like a D, you know, because that's a thing that could be a deal, you know. Look, here's a Z. Except it's one of those Z's with a line across it. Yes. That makes it fantastical. And then we just do the opposite right there, see? Yes, the bards are Euclidean geometrists. Mathematicians, you know. Something like that. All right, the sands of time are running out. Oh my. It's ominous. What if it actually changes, right? What if it actually is an hourglass? But it's magical. It's just like there's, maybe it's the coloring, it's the shading, but if you like walk away and then you look back at it, it's like, it's different. There's less sand in there. And perhaps there's something, when you enter, you have a certain amount of time before something happens. Ooh. Okay, yeah, like it. What kind of enemies are in here? You know, I haven't really thought of that yet. But I'm actually still kind of in this mindset that, like, it's the bards who live here, right? But yeah, eventually there's, you know, if I'm using this in a game, there's got to be something. So what inhabits after the bards? What drives the bards out? Or maybe the bards resume their good standing with the kingdom and are restored, right? And oh, thank you, Duco. Appreciate that. Very kind and generous. So maybe they've grown out of you know, maintaining this place, and so yes. But now times are dark once again. The bards have been expelled by yet another power-hungry king who wouldn't take counsel from the High Bard himself. And now they must flee to the mountains. All right, for this one, we're going to do more of a real kind of a... Okay, so... Oh, sorry, I'm all over the place, guys. It happens. Jared, welcome. So, getting really like sidetracked by chat, so give me a moment. I mentioned I wanted to finish one room. And so how would I finish this? Well, so if it's a natural cave, you can absolutely just leave it. Let's turn off my isometric layer so you can see what that would look like in that case, right? And we'll turn off my sketch layer too. All right. So that's what that would look like. But I do like to leave some grid lines in there, personally. So what I generally would do is just kind of go in and leave, if it's stone, I leave a little bit more faint impressions of tiles, right? It's not going to be true tiles. We're just leaving the impression more for players and dungeon masters as a practicality, okay? And so what I would do is just kind of go in here like this and leave these faint impressions of lines. And sometimes I do like the dotted thing, like I'm actually just stippling in the lines, and that can work really well. So let's erase some of these and let's do that actually too. So we can switch it up a little bit, and my dots are a little less satisfying here in Photoshop than on paper. There we go. It's a little bit harder to control maybe the size of a dot. But let's get rid of my ISO and see how that looks. Okay, so it's not looking great. So we need to be a little more consistent with our, and maybe the dots just aren't going to work well here in Photoshop. But you can see on my map video, the one that I linked down in the description of this one, I did mostly stippling there, and I think it worked pretty well. So maybe we can just do kind of dashed lines and see how it goes. And yeah, we can do some stippling still. But I think the stippling enough is going to be a little bit difficult here. All right, so I'm just going in and leaving those faint lines there, and then I'm going to go in here, and we'll just see how this looks in a moment. It's just kind of a gameplay aid, really. It's not something you need. Just as battle maps, you know, sometimes you'll see some really great ones with absolutely no grid, and they're fine. You don't need it all the time. But I also just, I think it helps with the perspective, actually, a little bit. Oh. All right, let's see here. Okay. There we go. Jean-Luc, hello and welcome. All right, so I think that's enough. Like maybe I can see right here a little room for perhaps something right there and right here too. But I think that's pretty good there. And then yeah, it kind of disappears back here, so let's take care of that too. There we go. Very nice. Cool. All right, so that's what I do for the grid. Now, if we're doing a more tiled one, yes, then we will absolutely do kind of a defined grid, right? Very defined grid. And while the tiles might not always be 5 feet, in my dungeons they usually are 5-foot tiles, which are huge. But you know, that's kind of how it goes. Actually, if I look at a lot of my isometric maps too, like my treasure chest, when I really like measure them, this is a 7-foot treasure chest. What on? Huh. Okay, it works. Whatever. If I were doing them for like a module, I would probably try to be a little more careful with that. Be a little more precise. Okay, so let's get some of these a little darker here. And like that. All right, good. And some of this right here. And then we'll just do some little, gotta do some little pebbles and stuff here. Just little, every once in a while, it adds to the look if you just do some dots. It's true of almost anything you draw, guys. Little dots occasionally. Just, I don't know. All right. That is true, Patrick. A casket is the correct answer. just saved because I saw Patrick's name. See, all I had to do was see your name, Patrick, and I saved. You have power. All right. Yeah, here we could do some water. So I had like a little kind of font at one point somewhere else, but what if the bards actually like cleanse themselves ceremonially? There's some kind of basin. They probably don't submerge themselves in it, but right here. And so let me turn my grid back on so I can kind of get a feel, and my sketch back on. Yeah. Let's do something right here. There's going to be some kind of basin that holds water. Mm-hmm. And up like that. Okay, there we go. And then this. Close enough. Okay, nope, we gotta stick to the guidelines, Nate. So I'm not on the guidelines here, but we have to go parallel to them. Yes, there we go. And this one went a little bit past there. I'm not really sticking to my grids real well, but as long as we're maintaining the perspective, it's okay. And so I'm kind of trying to draw one that the walls of this kind of come in a little bit. They're leaned in. I'm not sure if I'm being very successful with that. So big news this past week. Gen Con canceled. So that's a bummer, but you know, not unexpected. And yeah, but it's definitely got me thinking of how I will miss by the time this is all over, connecting with people face to face too. Seeing some of you all face to face really is a lot of fun. So we'll be back. Gen Con will be back. Okay, so we'll do some water here. It's not totally full. And I don't know. I think that maybe gives the impression of water. I think maybe those lines are too thick, actually. Yeah, my first Gen Con was last year, actually. I've never been, so before that. So really, really glad I went last year. It was just a great time. It was crazy. It was stressful. I will admit that part of me was a little bit relieved that it was canceled because it's like, it takes a lot out of me. It's a lot of energy. I'm not a super like social person. I'm not super comfortable in large crowds. So I think some of you can probably relate with me on that. But yeah, it was really neat. Got to hang out. One of the highlights for sure was hanging out with a lot of fellow creators. Hanging out with Guy from Great GM. If you don't know his channel, definitely check him out. How to be a great GM, I think, or maybe it's just Great GM. If you search Great GM, you'll find him. And stuff like that. Cody from Taking 20, hanging out with him a bit. Janet from World Anvil. Dead Aussie Gamer. And I'm sure lots of other people that I'm forgetting, sorry. Jordan, there we go. Ben from Questing Beast. Man, there were so many people there. So many great people. All right. So we're doing a more exact staircase in this case, and these stress me out, my friends. I'm sorry to say it. They just do. They just do. Okay. I don't know what to do about it, but we're gonna draw it. All right. So you know, the line for a individual stair is going to be like this, and then like this, and then the temptation for me is always to go and it's like, no, those are, you can already see they're just way off. You have to be more exact than that, Nate, if you want to get a good looking staircase. So thank you, Patrick, for the update. So we have to be a little more exact than that. So we're doing our best here. But I do not enjoy it. It's my least favorite part of isometric dungeons, is doing stuff like this, where it's just like, so I got to keep it parallel there. Gosh, my dog is just so loud and annoying. Low, 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 low. Just doing her thing. You know, what's she barking at? Probably a fly. That's what it usually is. She'll wake up from a dead sleep and just sit up, stretch, and like start howling. I don't know. Doggy dementia. We sometimes wonder. I do feel like it's getting a little bit worse as she ages. Okay. We made it. Now, this is the secret, guys. The secret thing I do love about Photoshop. Gotta admit. Oh, man. He's a cheater. Nate, really? I never would have thought that of you. Of all people. Sorry. Okay. I pasted it right on top of the other one. Control-Shift-V. There we go. Yes. Even me, my friends. I actually tend to like the more tedious parts of map drawing. It's a bit like painting a model or something, just relaxing. I absolutely agree with you on a lot of things. Like the trees, you know, it's the same reason I'm a teacher, and a lot of teachers paint houses in the summer, and I used to do that. And it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's just kind of relaxing and chill, and like I just paint and I don't have to think. I can put on like a podcast or the radio. Like one of my painting crews, we used to just listen to baseball games. I wasn't that into baseball. It was just kind of nice. Like I kind of got into baseball. And yeah, you know, you just kind of, it's cool. So those, especially as a teacher, I have to use my brain a lot. And okay, redo, edit, redo, edit. Shift Control Z is redo. I don't know. I thought it was like Control Y or something in most programs. I don't know Photoshop that well, apparently. So yeah, those things where you can kind of turn off your brain for a bit and just get in the flow of it. Those can be really good, I agree. This for me is not one of those things though, because I have to use my brain a lot. I'm like, okay, is that like, it's not there yet. Maybe with more practice it would be, you know. But yeah, like drawing tons of little trees on a map sometimes, yeah. Put on some Critical Role and just go. I'm trying to get perfectly straight lines here. There we go. Okay. I think what I need to do is get back to the hard round brush, and then I can get some. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Okay, so I just need to make it thinner. Thanks, by the way, for being here with me, everybody. I greatly appreciate it. Horrible History. I'm not familiar with this, Daniel. Not familiar with this. I'm going to have to look it up, though. I'm going to write it down. Horrible History. Okay, so I'm doing the cheat of just kind of using the Shift key, put my point one place, hold down Shift, point another place, and it makes this nice straight line for me. But, you know, if I was doing this on paper, you could use a ruler, probably what I would normally do, or just kind of eyeball it. All right, but we have achieved a more mathematical staircase than we would if we were doing it another way. So, you know, I was going for a little contrast with this style right here, which is like this kind of rough hewn, not really a staircase, but someone tried to level out some sort of flat areas. GrandCon, no, I don't have any news on that, Jimmy. I don't know if you got an email about it, but yeah, Pope, I teach history and government right now, and I'll be doing video production next year. Yeah, so I got an email from Grand Con, and I'm going to be a special guest this year. that's disheartening to think that it might not happen, but I totally get it. But the email just said, yeah, don't worry, we're not canceling yet, but don't worry, we will not go through it if it's not safe. So, I think Brian over at Grand Con's probably been getting a lot of emails and a lot of people saying, like, aren't you going to cancel it? Sort of stuff. And wanted to kind of get ahead of that, I'm guessing. Because, yeah, of course, he's, he has common sense. He's a smart dude. And, yeah. So I'm doubtful it will happen. But, I think it's smart just to wait. And, like I said, we don't know what's going to be in September. So Timu's got to put his wifey to sleep. Okay. Mike, I haven't done much teaching how to draw fantasy maps in school, but a little bit. Real world maps, haven't done a lot of that either. With my map, like, I tend to get into the artistic side of things. We have colored maps in history, and I have had them draw borders and stuff too. Yeah. Yes, Patrick, I kind of do too. Prefer the previous style, but I wanted to go for a bit of contrast and, try something new. All right, so let us continue here. Okay, we're going to get my, we want some pressure size back here, so it'll vary the pressure a little based on how hard we are pressing, and then I am going to get back up to size 7 or so, and we can do this sort of rough place here. Okay, so zoom back out so we can see what we're working on here. For those of you just joining, here's what we've done so far. Not a whole lot, but we're making progress. We're doing okay. Hey, everything is fine. Let me see what time it is. 3:16. What time did I start? 2 o'clock. Okay, yeah, we're good for a bit. I want to make sure I'm not neglecting my familial duties, but we're good. All right, on this, we're going to do a stripe. And of course, there will be some kind of text on here, and the text is going to read, there we go. Everything is breaking. All right, so I'm going to get real fancy here. And we're going to put some text on here, actually. And the text is going to read, Yo mama is so cool. I want to hang out with her sometime. And then if we just go ahead and put in some craziness here in between, we all of a sudden have ancient runes. Because you know what? Nobody's going to be able to read that. You might say, Nate, someone can zoom in on it, and what are you doing? And it's like, no, I'm not gonna publish this anywhere that anyone can zoom in that much. Sorry. Frisky, I just have like a PC, and then I've got I don't even know. It's a Core i5. It's like 8 years old, but it does the job. And I've got a Wacom Cintiq that I draw on here. So yeah. All right. Yeah, I know. Talking about your mother, I'm sorry. It's alarming. You thought I was better than that, didn't you? No. All right. Ooh, I forgot something cool that I wanted to do here. Yeah, let's do it. So one thing to consider is sometimes it can be cool when you're. I don't do walls on my maps in general. Like some people, would come in here and make like a like this, and that's really cool. I think it looks great. I have struggled to make it look good myself. I'm just never really that satisfied with it. I guess maybe if I gave it like a little, I don't know, chunkiness, it would be better. So yeah, anyway, it can look really cool. But since I don't do that, I do like to put in doorways and arches and things like that. So I'm going to do that here. And what I'm going to do is actually put some kind of, well, let's just feel it out here. Something like this. Okay, it's going to be kind of sloped. And this. And then like this. Okay. So it's going to have this kind of slope to it. And then we need to erase some of our stairs to make it fit. Does Nate use Easter eggs in his maps? Yeah. You go to sellswordmaps.com yourself and you decide. No, I really don't. But yeah, I mean, we're pretty far zoomed in here, and there is no way you can read that. And even if you could, it would say cool and then like random weird letter and mama, like, yeah, so weird letter am. Okay. So now this archway is going to have, we're not going to do like our traditional runes that we've been doing. We're just going to put a sort of a pattern on it like this. Kind of like something I might do with a map border almost. That one got a little too low. All right, cool. There we go. So if you are drawing an isometric dungeon map or whatever you're working on, feel free to go ahead and share it over on the Discord server. And maybe before we leave, I'll pop over there. So if you share it, just do it with hashtag Mappening over on the Maps channel. Okay? Maps channel. Mappening. Okay, so if you're working on something right now and you want to show it off, I'll pop over there and take a look before I sign out today, okay? And I apologize in advance that I won't be able to get to everyone's map. I'm just going to be skimming through that thing pretty quickly, but if you use that hashtag over there, I can do that a little bit better. Can you paint the map? You know, I actually did one a while back that I started doing that. Maybe I'll show that real quick if I can find it. Let's see. First Amendment government class notes. No, that's not it. Oh, man. Isometric frost fury. Let's see if this one has it here. There we go. So I started painting it, and where I kind of left off, I needed to do some shading. But yeah, you can see that is actually this one right here. All right, let me make myself a little bigger. I am pretty darn important after all. Okay, so from paper into Photoshop, and you can see the beginnings of color work. But I never finished it, and yeah, it's one of those things that I like to play around and try new styles. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. That's one that I need a little more work on, and mostly would be, you know, I think what would elevate it is adding some shading and highlights here. I've got the base color, and then going in and adding more variety too, right? The water here, I have a stream. We'd have to make that blue, and you know, so yeah. Hopefully I'll get back to that some point and have some fun. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. We're gonna make this. So here's another thing that just makes isometric maps look cooler. There we go. Something like that. And getting some more kind of like 3D, you know, prismatic look to it. Just makes it look like a more substantive hunk of stone with cool carvings on it. Yes. And then we would have to, oh, I almost forgot, we would have to make that here too to be consistent, wouldn't we? So yeah, I mean, you could probably see like this whole process is definitely like it's upping your artistic game a little bit when you're getting into this, in a way that you just don't do with my traditional maps. Maybe it's just that it exercises a different part of your brain, right? Your artistic brain a little bit. So yeah. Should the bottom stair have a line where it meets the floor, or is the bottom one smooth to the floor? Yeah, it should. It should kind of have one right there. Yes, I think you're right. Thank you for pointing that out there, Blue Dwarf. Appreciate it. And then this one would not, right? Unless we're doing like a tiled floor and this like is kind of a separate hunk of stone sort of thing. But I don't think that's the case. All right, let's go ahead and put some rocks in here too. And yep, we're going to do some rocks up here. In fact, this would be a good spot for some stalagmites. So let's try it. Let us try it. All right, there we go. Yeah, Patrick and Michael are two of my patrons who tune in regularly to the mapping stream, so that's why they're admins. And I've spoken with them, you know, in terms of like online chat and stuff, and known them for a while. All right. So on stalagmites, you can kind of, you know, you can make it pretty straight. That's not straight, but I think it looks better if you make it a little more like jagged, like that kind of, because that's the way they tend to form. There's like layers, right? And so maybe mine aren't perfectly layered, but when you do those, you can then kind of go in here and do some little lines like that, and that just kind of accentuates that layered look of the way these stalagmites form, which I think is super fun and cool, and I just like the way they look. Okay. Stalactites, if you want to do those, I have seen isometric maps that do those and do them quite well. I have not tried them myself. It's it's a very challenging thing to do. All right. When I saw that one that did it well, it was like, whoa, they actually did it. And yeah, I have also had people ask about that with terrain, because I have some 3D stalagmites that I have crafted for my gaming table. You know, just I followed some tutorials, you know, Black Magic Craft and DM Scotty and all those guys, DMG. I watched a lot of those tutorials, and so I made some, and they're cool. And then someone was like, "What about stalactites?" I'm like, "Yes, I have seen that, but those I don't like the way they look when they're you know, 3D crafted, because the ones I saw actually had like a clear post, like a lot of flying miniatures will have, and then like the stalagmite on top of it, and it's just like, I don't know, it just seems like unnecessary clutter that would get in the way of my gaming table. Stalactites are implied when there are stalagmites. There we go. Maybe that's not scientific, but that's my answer. All right. Cool. Very good. We only have 7 minutes left. Ah! Nah, I might go a little later. Although the rate that my dog is barking upstairs, probably gonna drive me insane, so I probably should end it. She's just, I hear my wife yelling at her, and it's just like, it's not working. What is going on? Someone coming over? That's usually the sign that like someone came over and knocked on the door or rang the doorbell or something. I feel like this needs to go around here just a tad bit more. Yeah, like that. Okay. And I never finished because I'm just all over the place and looking at the chat and getting in little conversations in my head because I'm crazy. I'm also forgetting to finish things. So yeah, we'll do some of these. These I feel like they need to be a little thicker on the walls. And yeah, So there is no time limit. I could stream for 8 hours right now if I wanted to. But I will end it soon, yeah. Actually, I'm not sure. Does YouTube Live have time limits? I think they used to have like an 8-hour time limit. And I feel like maybe they did away with that recently, in the last year or so. Or maybe you have to have like, your channel has to be so big before you can do that. I don't know. So this kind of looks like a sandbox. And, you know, it'd probably help if I had like water pouring into it from like a waterfall, or if, yeah, I'm really not sure. But I think I just maybe need to look up how to draw a pool of water a little bit better. And so, yeah, I mean, I am not, you know, artists use reference. And sometimes that's an important tip, is just, you know, like I was watching this D&D documentary on Amazon Prime, which you all should check out. I have the Beholder. And like a lot of those artists would take photos of themselves holding like a broom if they wanted a warrior holding an axe, right? And yeah, I mean, that's cool. So looking up water, yeah, I think would be good. All right, only 7 minutes left. No. All right. There we go. And we'll do our little. Yep, we'll get in there. Do some of these. Cool. I like the way it's looking. So yeah, you can definitely get a sense for how time consuming these are. I had someone reach out for me for a dungeon map commission. And you know, I basically told them, if I'm going to do a dungeon map, here's you know, my price, whatever. I usually try to figure anywhere from like 30 to 50 bucks an hour for my time, just because I don't need the money, and that's what it's worth for me. You know, I am fortunate to be in the position where I have supportive patrons and get a little YouTube ad revenue too. So map commissions are extra for me. And if I were to lose my teaching job, that would be something I would probably have to ramp up. But anyway, I think they were a little bit shocked by the price when I said, yeah, well, oh, you want isometric? Well, that's going to pretty much double the price then, because it's just way more time consuming. It is. It's a whole new element. It's 2 more dimensions, guys. 2 more. Or 1 more? I don't know. Is it 2D, 3D? I don't know. Thank you there, Snowtail. You know what? For people to like, though, they have to actually be signed into YouTube. And some people who watch my streams, I know it's crazy, just watch without like even being signed into YouTube. I actually have that sometimes too, because I'll just be watching on Facebook or something like that, or you know, wherever someone shared a link, or my friend shares one in Messenger, and I don't go to the like open in app thing. So, and then I try to like it, and then it says you have to sign in, and I'm like, forget it. I think you all know what I mean there. It's a universal thing. All right, let's see how that looks if we get rid of our isometric. We need a little bit more. I missed a little bit, like right here. Yeah, good deal. I like it. All right. So what's everyone up to? Here in the US, we've got a holiday tomorrow. So anyone have holiday plans? I know some places are starting to open back up again. Here in Michigan, we've got a little more open, you know, some restaurants and things like that. Remember what I said about little dots? Yeah, these areas need some little dots too, definitely. Just kind of like let those little dots kind of hug the other areas, and let's see how that looks. I think it does improve the look a little bit. It's dirt. There's some grit here. If you guys want to see little dots, go check out Paths Peculiar on Instagram, and like I showed off one of his maps in a recent video, and I'm just amazed by the stippling he does. It's just crazy. It's so detailed and it looks so cool, but man, that is work. Speaking of work, also Kaora, I made a Twitter post about it and how like this is why map commissions are expensive. He posted a map that he just did of Middle Earth. If you don't know Kaora, he used to go by Blue Sword Games. Great guy, great maps. Really like his stuff. And he posted his total time about 200 hours on this Middle Earth map he made. Full color, really nice looking. Actually, was it full color? I don't think it was like super colorful, but there was color on it. Yeah. No, it was full color. Yeah. It was pretty colorful now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, crazy stuff. 200 hours. Woo! I am impressed by the patience and just like mental fortitude it takes to stick to one project so long. So, yeah. Craziness. Oh, yeah, nice, Quest Magister. Yeah, I think I saw someone mention that earlier. It was probably you. Getting caught up on the chat. Dungeon name, yeah, dungeon name. We could do that. Let's brainstorm some ideas here. Okay, so this is basically like an old mountaintop temple for the bards, and the bards in Eastwhile, where they're from. They are, they're into, I mean, so song is a thing, right? So it could be like the ancient song temple. They wield their power through song like bards do, but it's, yeah, they're almost druidic, cleric type priestly order. The Tomb of Time, that could work. But I don't want it to be a tomb. It's like it's a haven. It's an old place, but not a tomb. Let's just start, but the best way to start is just to start writing things down, okay? So yeah, Tomb of Time. Here's what you do, guys. You get your pen or paper and you just start writing out everything that comes to mind. So Singing Summit, Sacred Drum. Ooh, Sacred Drum. I'm gonna just write down words too, like singing. Three Dance Brothers Temple. Yeah, the three dancers. The Willow Spire Retreat. It is kind of a retreat too. Yeah. I'll write down Haven. Willow Spire Retreat. Willow Spire Haven. Song. What about? Oh, I think I got it here. Thank you for all your suggestions. Song. Spire, Haven. Kind of combining some of your ideas and mine. Okay, I'm gonna keep that there for now. Songspire Temple I also like though. The accent of the ancients. Ooh. Ancient. What about? I also like ancient song. Ancient Song Temple. Okay, well, I'm going to keep these here. I'm not going to commit right now. I know that's disappointing, but the Bard's Crescendo. Ooh, getting all musical on me, Samish. Okay. But I'm leaning towards Songspire Temple. Ancient Song Temple. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Yeah. I think we might call it a day here. As is usual, I don't get quite as much done when I'm streaming because I like to see what you people are saying and hang out with you too. I don't want to just be the lone mapper. Everyone cracking the whip on me, trying to make me draw maps faster. Stop. Okay, there was none of that happening. I recognize that. Okay. Cool. Just getting a little bit of my lines down here too. That's not exact, and that's okay. All right. I'm going to hit save. Control S. Oh, yes. Thank you, Michael. I did say I was going to check the Discord, so I appreciate that. So, yes, if you have anything you posted there with the Mappening hashtag, whew. So we'll spend our last couple minutes just perusing that. Halls of Dissonance. That's good. Okay, I don't like that for the name, but dissonance is such a good word that has to work its way into something. Like perhaps there's actually like a force that is like evil that they call the dissonance or something, you know? Like it ruins the harmony, or I don't even know music well enough to know what dissonance is. I should probably look that up. But yes, something like that needs to be, I'm just going to circle that word. Or maybe it's part of a puzzle in here, or, ooh, yeah. Okay. So I'm still loading Discord. It did not open like I asked it to. I think I have to double click on my little tray thing here. Okay. It's being slow, but it is being. Yes. Sorry guys, it's loading, and it's loading a little bit slow. Okay. Let's go over here. Hey, nice start. I mean, that's it right there. Just starting to practice that look, right? You can definitely see that you can definitely do a good job without isometric graph paper, but those guidelines you will probably find are super helpful. Ooh, nice. Man, this is a good level of detail here. Oh, yeah. So good. Ooh, yes, the progress. Yeah, see, I like that corner wall look. That's a cool look, too. So if you're going to do walls, don't need to do complete walls. You can just do these little corners. It kind of gives it that dimension, that 3D, that feel. Ooh, yes, nice. Loving them. Hard to see that one, sorry. Oh, yeah. Very cool. Love the volcano, the forest. Sorry, it's not loading very fast here, but... Oh, nice. The Cult of Nothingness Chambers, yes. Ooh, I love the jagged bottoms to them. Yeah. Cool. I love this one, too. Looks like a Wonder Draft, which I need to mess with a little more. Wow, hand-drawn battle map. I like it. I do. Feedback. More dots. More little dots. I see some of these right here, but if this is the road, excuse me, how can you make it feel like a different texture than this right here? A little more than these squiggly lines do. You could do actually like road ruts if that's a road. If it's a path, maybe not, right? But yeah. Okay. Cool. Hey, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, you guys and gals, and anyone in between. Really appreciate it. And thanks to the patrons for being here, and for everyone. Make sure you thank Patrick and Michael for keeping us all in line, including myself. So I greatly appreciate everyone hanging out and for being cool. So I hope you're doing well wherever you are, that you're staying sane in the era of social distancing. And for those of you in the U.S., happy Memorial Day, especially for as we remember those who have served. Thank you to those of you who have served in the military and sacrificed much. And yeah, I hope you have a good holiday. Hope you have a good, and if not holiday for you, wherever you are, hope you have a good week and weekend. All right. Bye, everybody.